You already know that healthy habits are key to improving your health and well-being. But why, as a woman over 40, do you need to stop and reassess as to what lifestyle changes you need to be making this year? And here's the truth: your body, your hormones, the way you've been operating, your mindset is not the same as it was in the 20s or in your 30s or even in your 40s. Things are shifting and changing, and so you need to shift and change things in your life as well. So in this video, let's talk about why this matters and how you can easily navigate these changes for yourself.
Welcome, I'm Nina, and I help women over 40 create, implement, and automate healthier habits so that you can live a happier and healthier life. Because we all know that when you are thriving, everyone else around you benefits from your amazing sparkle. In this video, we're going to cover the following: what habits really are and what healthier habits look like. Secondly, the number one reason why we so often fail to stick to those healthier habits that we're trying to implement. And thirdly, an accountability system that is going to work for you and your personality trait. Stick around and let's learn some of these simple strategies together so that we can set you up for success. So habits are behaviors that we repeat regularly and that then often become automated. Did you know that studies show that about 45% of our daily actions are actually habitual? They're habits that we are doing without even thinking. And this automation is what helps our brain conserve energy so that we can spend that brain power on more complex things that arise in our life. But here's a catch: not all habits serve us equally. So if you think about it, like brushing your teeth at night is hopefully a well-automated habit in your life, and that serves you a good positive benefit. Whereas scrolling on your phone late at night is probably also a habit and behavior, but it's not actually serving you in the long term. You may be getting that dopamine hit right there when you need it, but it's probably not actually serving your health and vitality in the long run. The secret is to create habits that are aligned with your long-term health goals. Healthy habits like eating an earlier dinner, getting to bed early, starting your day with hydrating and some water. And these are all really healthy habits. They're going to support your system in making sure that you stick or get into circadian rhythm. They're going to help you flush out and cleanse your system before your day starts. And then it's also really important to note that some habits, even though they are hard, something like cold plunging or possibly even intermittent fasting, they're seen as positive stresses on the body because they stress out the body, but they improve the longevity and your overall health. In my opinion, balance is key, and your habits shouldn't overwhelm you. They should actually support you in living the life that you want to live. So again, finding that balance is really, really important. Let's delve into the next part, and this is probably what you've been waiting for. It's like, why is it so hard to make habits stick, Nina? Firstly, our brain is actually very smartly wired, in a sense that it has this big resistance to change. So if you're like me, have you ever tried to start a new habit and it just feels like you're actually fighting yourself? Sound familiar? Well, that's just your brain's natural resistance to change. And here's why. Firstly, your brain sees anything that is unnatural, that it's not used to, as a potential threat. And even something positive like a healthier diet or getting to bed earlier or having an earlier dinner, these habits, your body sees those as a potential threat. And changing those can feel quite unsafe at first. Secondly, our automated habits literally just run on autopilot in a part of our brain that's called the basal ganglia. We're not going to get into all the technical stuff now. But when we are trying to do a new habit, we have to shift our attention. We have to pay more attention. And when we want to start a new habit, we have to move from that basal ganglia to the prefrontal cortex, which requires effort and energy, something that the brain actually doesn't want to do. And why does it not want to do that? Because it feels like hard work. And your brain is wired to conserve energy. That is what its job is. So spending time and energy and effort is not really in the brain's best interest. But if we want to shift and move closer towards our healthier goals, we actually do have to start building new neural pathways that can then eventually become that automated habit. Now, if you're like me, you probably have all these things that you are wanting to change. You know, you have to change the way you eat, when you eat, how you eat, when you sleep. You probably realize you need to cut the social media. Like, there's probably a lot of stuff that you know that you need to do. And if you try to do everything all at once, your brain is just going to get overwhelmed and it's going to procrastinate. And so if you have this tendency of procrastination, it might be that you're just overwhelming your system a little bit too much. And so this is why we always recommend start simple, start small, and do little adaptations that are moving you in the right direction. So instead of shifting your bedtime from, say, if it's 12 p.m. to like 8:30 p.m., just work with 15-minute increments. That is going to be less overwhelming for the brain and is not going to require so much energy. And so it'll still be able to conserve some energy, and you're slowly moving closer and closer towards that healthier habit that you want. And here's a bonus one. We have got this dopamine high. Our brains are wired for that dopamine hit. And healthy habits don't necessarily give you that hit immediately. Going to bed early ain't really going to give you that dopamine hit as what you'll do is if you're just like scrolling through social media aimlessly and just wanting to see what happens, or if you have that high sugar cookie late at night, those are going to give you those dopamine hits. They're not going to be great for you in the long term, but you feel that instant gratification right away. And we need to train ourselves not to want or need this dopamine hit when we're trying to shift our habits. So what does this all actually mean, when it comes to wanting to create a healthier habit? Well, I love to use this one practice where, for example, give yourself a reward when it's due. So once you've done your morning exercise routine or yoga practice, thereafter treat yourself to that nice cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is that you can reward yourself with. So you can still get a little bit of that dopamine hit, but you're still doing that new habit that you're wanting to do beforehand, going for the walk, doing the exercise routine, doing the weight training, whatever it may be.
And that leads me to the third part, which is accountability. Studies show that you are more likely to follow through and stick with changing, updating, improving, or setting a new habit for yourself if you have accountability structure or system in place for you. If there is someone or something that you are accountable to, because it keeps you motivated, it keeps you consistent, it keeps you inspired, and it keeps you on track to getting where you want to go. And I love Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies profile that she uses, and I find this is really helpful when it comes to setting up the right accountability for you. She first talks about upholders, and upholders respond really well to internal and external accountability. In other words, something like a coaching group can be really helpful for upholders. Secondly, she talks about obligers. Now, I'm an obliger through and through, and obligers are externally motivated. It really helps us having an external source that is reliant on us. So being part of a coaching group or having a partner or someone who you can be accountable to and show up for, like joining that sports team so that you're not letting down the other players, are really good for obligers. The third one is questioners. Questioners need like logic and understanding. They're very analytical, and if they are going to be accountable, they need to have an accountability buddy or coach or someone who can really give them the theory as to why they need to be doing something, because when they can understand cognitively that this is good for them, no problem, they'll be able to follow through and make it happen. And finally, rebels, they just prefer freedom and choice. And it's really hard for them to be accountable. They are the ones that need to choose for themselves what they want to be accountable to or who they want to be accountable to and works for them. They will never watch a video like this and be like, okay, I'm going to take that advice. They're going to literally go and do the opposite. If you're not sure what personality tendency you are, I'll link to Rubin's free quiz that she has. It's really fun, it's really worthwhile. And those in the family, what tendencies they are, because it really will help you understand, firstly, how you can be accountable to yourself or to others, and what system is going to work best for you.
So healthy habits, behavioral science, and accountability are the trifecta that are going to help you set yourself up for long-term success. Start small, understand your brain's resistance, and choose a support system that fits your personality. Don't miss the next video where I'm going to share with you the most impactful habits that I've cultivated now over 40. You'll see that video somewhere over here, and if it's not here yet, it hasn't been released, all you need to do is subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as soon as it's out, you'll get there. Otherwise, be sure to catch it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.